switch as well. Now later we're going to get to your questions both in the room and on social, but for right now, I'm going to direct this one to Director Dean. Let's talk about tackling this property. Everybody loves it. Can you talk about your approach in bringing this to new audiences in a way that we've never seen?
Sure, I mean, really there were two things that were important to me. You know, I grew up on Power Rangers, so what I wanted, in South Africa, and what was important to me from the beginning was making a movie about growing up. And I wanted to make this a grounded, character-driven origin story that was always set to the backdrop of this spectacular adventure. So always at the center of the approach was making these characters real, with real problems that I think everyone will find relatable and identifiable as they go on this big, fun, spectacular odyssey. And the second thing that was important is I want to remain true to the spirit of the franchise that I grew up on and loved, that was loved the world over, and make sure that we worked really hard to reimagine it and reinvent it and bring it to a 2017 audience.
2017, it sounds so far away. But that's the thing, is that what you're talking about is like bringing this, it's a new thing from a thing that we all know and love. So, Dacre, let's talk about like slipping into that costume. It seems like with great power comes great responsibility, yeah?
Yeah, I mean...
I know that's not a Ranger thing, guys. It's
yeah, slightly different. No, look, I think anybody could say, you know, being a superhero does come with a lot of responsibility. And it does, I think, because a lot of people look up to superheroes. I certainly did when I was younger, Power Rangers, and a lot of other superheroes as well. So there's a lot of honor in that, but also lots of responsibility going into a production, and certainly of this magnitude, with a great cast and crew and director and everybody. We all put in 150% on this, and we really do hope that it resonates with you guys, I think. Yeah.
Guys, be honest. Who pulled the first muscle? Because
Becky.
No, I thought it was Ludi.
Was it you?
No, Ludi.
I pulled quite a few. I don't remember the first.
It depends on the question.
I mean,
her.
I just went to Becky because she was just, I mean, she got injured something was going on with her every single day. That's why I went to you.
All right, so you and the paramedics were best friends then?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. What did you have to do to train to get ready? I mean, obviously it didn't work because you were getting hurt.
No, she trained too hard.
No.
Right, Beck?
Yeah.
True.
I think, I don't know. It's weird because we did train a lot, but it was a lot on our, thank you. It was a lot on our bodies. So I could not acknowledge that, I'm glad. No, it was a lot on our bodies. I mean, the hours, and then physically we were doing a lot. Like our stunt doubles went out of their way to help us kind of develop our fighting styles, and we really took on that responsibility to do a lot of our own stunts. And yeah, I think I just got caught up a couple times in the hustle of like, okay, next shot, and I'd be like, I gotta go pee! And then I'd run to the bathroom, and then I'd run back, and then next thing you know, I have a sprained ankle. So,
well, I mean, there were a few accidents, I think.
One
of which, when I was training, we obviously learned choreography, and for the first time that I was ever on screen doing choreography, I literally punched someone in the mouth and made them bleed. One of us done performance, and I felt.
And the nicest person too. Oh, poor Will.
That?
The nicest person too.
I know, he's so
the person
sweet.
that least deserves it.
But no. But I bled as well, so you know. I bled.
No, that was his blood on your knuckle. What?
I think it's like Dacre said before, that we all try to give 150% through this, and that actually gave us a great facility and an amazing team of people to train with. And each time we went into this warehouse full of wires, full of mats, full of weight equipment, it felt like superhero training. I felt like I was being in there to prepare to save the world, you know.
Well, because you guys are going to see in a few minutes, like the stunts in the movie are amazing, and you know, Dean, you mentioned it goes deeper than that, of course. But RJ, this is really different from your last movie, which if you haven't seen it, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, available on video. So what was your favorite move? Like, what's your jam?
Well, let's be honest. If we're talking RJ, I like to run away a lot, okay? Now, Billy, I like to run away with strategy, you know? That's my thing, you know? I see confrontation, it's like, okay, I could either go this way or I could go down this alley that's lit. There's a police officer there, I can say, you know? But I think my favorite move to do now, right? So I love working with my hands, right? Like boxing and stuff like that. But my stunt double, Aaron, taught me this thing called the axe kick, right? And I cannot do it in these jeans because they're entirely too tight.
Oh, can you do an approximation?
I can't do an approximate. I don't know.
Use your fingers.
Use my
Show us.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like it goes straight up and then it's with that sound though. And the reason why it's my favorite move is because I'm already tall, right? And this move makes me feel way taller, you know, because my legs are long. So it makes it seem like I can fight, but I can't. That's the thing. So I really love that about, you know, this character Billy. We can't fight, but we can look like it, you know.
Movie magic, right?
You
That's
know.
the best part. The magic that I'm also wanting to hear all about are Zords.
Thank you.
Which ones will we see? What was it like working in that environment when we're going to see one? Like, Dacre, tell us everything, literally everything, whatever they told you not to tell us.
Just let it all out of the bag. Look, I don't know. I think you're right. It's these Zords that sort of make an appearance in the film are incredible. And working with the technology that we did work with, these sort of flight simulator machines, was pretty extraordinary. Especially for me, you know, coming from a small town in Australia, and then suddenly being on this huge film set, and we're flying around in the final days in this pod, you know, like, you know, seeing Chris Pratt do it behind the scenes in Guardians of the Galaxy. Huge shout out to that. I love that film. And you know, and then suddenly being in there, being directed by this great guy and these guys around, and watching them do it as well. And then sort of seeing the previews and then those teaser sort of posters they release, and then the Zords start to come to life. But they're incredible. They're huge, you know, huge things, and I think it definitely takes on that nature that those epic sort of Marvel, DC world films have at the moment, which are so incredible to go watch at the cinema, because you're just getting lost in these, you know, these worlds created by the special effects and the kind of technology that we have at the moment, which is so incredible that it's become so realistic.
Yeah, what was important to me was to make sure that it felt that these guys are really in those Zords controlling it. And so we built all of their cockpits and we put it on a huge platform, and we had two 50-foot techno cranes, and I put them in this thing, which basically is being in a roller coaster for 12 hours in their suits
in my
and
Zord.
at crazy angles, which was hard. And I shot so much footage that we broke the record of dailies 3 days in a row, which I'm very proud of. But it was like being in a crazy roller coaster for them. But what's really cool, we're doing all the visual effects now, and what's really cool is that these guys are reacting in a real way, really physically, in their physical suits, in a physical cockpit, so that when you see the visual effects get put together, they're completely part of that world. We're not trying to cheat it at all. They are in the performance, in the moment, in the Zord.
And every now and again we would have Dean shouting,
Yeah.
okay, now look to your left! Okay, now there's something flying by!
I gotta give it to Dean. I didn't know that was so purposely planned, but everything that happened with Zord, like, we felt the physicality. I felt it anyways. It was difficult, it was hard, and I think that's how controlling a big, unmanageable machine for the first time like that should feel. I was exhausted, I was tired, I was exhausted, and the last shot we had, that was the hardest to accomplish. So it was, yeah, because I had the finishing shot of the film, and just being up there about 30 meters high, watching the entire crew, and being in my Zord, it was a feeling.
Can I tell a sweet anecdote?
Of course. course.
Ludi had the last shot of the whole movie, and Ludi is a very tough, brave, crazy, wild person, in a good way, in a great way. And the most emotional part of the movie was he gets down off of his Zord and starts crying, because it was the end of the movie. And I had to walk away because I thought I was going to start crying too.
Men don't cry.
But
Power Rangers do though.
But Power Rangers do.
We love it.
Who out there has a hanky? Ludi, come on.
It was very emotional. Well, mostly for me, right? It wasn't emotional because I was, feeling emotional. It was just because it hurt. Let's get something clear, okay? These Zords don't have airbags, y'all. This is not no planes, okay? So when we get hit, we actually hit the wall. So that's not pretty at all. I left with a lot of bruises, even though I'm chocolatey. They still yeah.
I think something really cool when we were filming the Zords is everyone's Zord works differently, right? And so the simulator moved differently as well. It wasn't just the same motions for everyone. Nay got it lucky because, she's gliding away. So she's just turning, and me, I'm saber-tooth tiger, pouncing everywhere, hitting things. So I had a hard time in the Zord. Yeah, Dean caught me praying in Spanish at a moment towards the end. I was praying with Rosario. I was like, I cannot do this. Lord,
I put my context back on, and we're about to go for another shot, and I just hear Becky like whispering, and I turned to Aldrich, our first AD, and I said, "What's going on?" She's praying, Dean. She's praying.
I just wanted it to be over.
That's when I knew I was working them correctly.
You're really reaching. I suspect you might have been doing a little praying too, Becky, when you were dealing with Rita Repulsa.
Yes. Oh my God, that was awesome. Give it up to Elizabeth Banks.
Really quickly, can you talk about working with her?
It was incredible. I mean, that's really the word to describe it. I learned a lot from her. I think she takes full control and responsibility for every decision that she makes for her character, and she's very collaborative. When we blocked the scene, it was literally just me, her, and Dean, and it was fun because we were collaborating. We were throwing ideas on where we could take it and how intense we were gonna get. And it felt chill because we were just in sweatpants, no makeup, hair in a chongo and everything. And then come time to shoot the actual scene, 4.5 hours later after she gets in costume and cosmetics, it wasn't acting, it was genuine fear of how real she looked and how committed she was to her character. I was dealing with Rita Repulsa. So it was amazing.
Guys, I'm just receiving word from no one in particular that we do have a message from Elizabeth Banks. With Elizabeth Banks hovering over that. That's everybody? Okay. I thought so. And also RJ. Yeah, no surprise there. Now, that's just our first look. So what else can you show us? Like, what are you excited to show us next?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. This is really just a teaser. I mean, you aren't seeing...
I know, but I'm so amped up.
You're not seeing the Zords, you're not seeing the spaceship parties.
I know.
It's coming, it's all coming, it's coming.
We have so much
This
time.
is what you need to look forward to.
I know, we have so much time until the movie comes out in March of 2017, so we get Zords in the future.
You get Zords, you get Alpha 5, Zordon, the spaceship, parties, Gold on.
The red Power Ranger, the yellow Power Ranger.
And
But you started, RJ.
Don't blame that on me. They got imaginations. Don't get me too much. Not right now. That's not how we was raised in Duval.
I think the yelling from the audience is actually just showing how excited everybody is to talk to you. So we're going to turn to audience questions. So now the rule is that the person with the mic is the one that's talking. So the rest of all y'all Green Power Ranger people just shut it. And look for the microphone in the audience.
Hey guys, come on to me. I'm not coming to you. This is not that kind of party.
Same with me.
Come on down.
You can't miss Ruben in that amazing suit.
All right, I got a question right over here. What's your name, buddy?
Jonah.
And what's your question?
What I was wondering was, what's exactly your favorite character trait of your character?
What? Your favorite character trait of your
So like, what other character would we want to?
What's
No, we're asking
what's
Just
the
say your
favorite character
character
trait
that
of
you like the
our
most.
character? Okay, so my character is Zach, and I think he's charged. I think he's always amped up, he's charged, and he's ready to go.
I pick Kimberly. I think Kimberly has a maturity about her, and I respect that, you know, because I'm not always so mature myself.
I play Billy, the Blue Ranger, and I feel like my favorite characteristic of Billy is that he's wholehearted in every situation, you know? That's just, yeah. But I am wholehearted in every situation is RJ.
What I love most about Trini is that she's independent. From the beginning and her circumstances, she always was kind of like that loner, but she owned it. So she didn't really need to depend on anybody, and I like that she's independent.
I think Jason's pretty empathetic. I think that's what sort of leads him to sort of seek to have a relationship with the other characters that are sort of in different social groups of the school, and eventually we all come together, the Power Rangers.
Dean, what about you? Your favourite trait about yourself? What would you?
This is why I'm not an actor. I'm an actor.
We have a couple.
You know, Dean actually played Alpha 5 for a while.
Yes, he did. He did.
Very good Alpha 5.
He was brilliant. They should, yeah.
I thought they were gonna cast Dean, but then it got weird, you know. It's kind of. But his New Balance collection, though, that's a trait that everybody should see. Everyone.
Yeah.
Nice. More questions out there in the audience?
Right over here, in front of you. Hi.
Hi.
Hi guys. First of all, thank you for being here, for making this movie and bringing my childhood back. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being here too.
So my question is, what was it like when you first shot the scene, when you first became these iconic heroes? Like, what was your feeling when you guys first morphed into the Power Rangers?
Yeah, I mean, it was towards the end of the shoot, and like to touch on what I said before, you've got all this stuff hyped up in your mind of, there's so much responsibility, this is going to be on screen forever. So you're thinking at home, you know, and getting into the costume, everything leading up, you're like, there's so much pressure on this moment. And then when you sink into it, the set's so big and so real, it feels right. And with these guys, because as I say, we did it towards the end of the shoot, you know each other so well, you kind of feel like a combination of this is right, and a combination of just being like epically powerful, because everything is just like so big and cool and real, and yeah.
I think I had that worry at the beginning of the shoot too, because you're stepping into some big shoes, right? And there's a lot of responsibility. But throughout the shoot, like the whole process in the movie, I think the movie taught me something. It's about the process of becoming a superhero, and anybody can become a superhero. You don't need to pretend or to pose as a superhero. By that time, as long as your heart's in the right place, you got the right team around you and the right people around you, and you guys are together working on something you feel that's worthwhile,
Amen.
then you're the hero.
Yes. Confucius, ladies and gentlemen.
Anybody can be a superhero. Write it down. Make a note here.
Are you taking notes, guys?
Make a
Well, it's
memo.
true. I mean, the suits do come from within us, which I think says a lot. The suit comes from within. It's about a lot of self-discovery. It's a coming-of-age story, and it's cool because I, as a human being outside, learned a lot filming this movie. So when it came time to put on the suits, it felt like I deserved that moment. Like I really earned my suit.
Nice. Now we have a lot of people watching on. Yep. Keep the clapping going. Keep the clapping going. Together we are more. We need that message so badly right now, and
Yes.
I keep coming back to it, man. I like this line of discussion. So, there are folks watching online, and I wanted to get to a couple of their questions. You guys had on set fierce social media game, and this one comes from John Hobbs III. The Power Rangers are a solid team of close friends, which I'm sensing as you guys talk. How did you all build that team relationship and friendship on and off camera? Ooh, Becky, you raised your hand. Yes.
I know, I want to be polite here. Dee over here really took on that leader role from the very beginning. When they announced my casting for Trini, right away he reached out and was like, hey, we have a WhatsApp going on, everybody's in the chat, you know, we're all getting to know each other. And it was cool because we would be sending each other pictures of, he would be in China and Nay would be in UK, and we'd be sending pictures of what we were doing, and it was just awesome to already have that kind of energy going. And then when we met, it was like we kind of all knew each other already.
But I do want to say, like, the difference between...
And there they are in all their glory.
Abs.
They're right there.
Yeah, me and Becky decided not to post our picture of us working
Yeah,
out.
it's too much for the internet.
I mean, oh my god.
Believe it or not, we still look like that, I promise. We haven't got out of shape, okay?
The magic's in Photoshop.
Wait, I'm still counting the actual amount of abs.
I know.
Yes, Ludi Lin, ladies
Lots
and
of
gentlemen.
muscles.
Jiminy Christmas.
No, I do want to point out a difference between, like, virtual reality, social media, personality, and meeting the actual cast and the actual people in person. I do encourage people to actually meet your friends in person.
Whoa,
or
whoa,
people you're
whoa,
interested
whoa,
in.
what?
I know it's a crazy concept these days. Those VR glasses do all the trick. But we were exchanging photos and videos. I had very different impressions of my castmates. And
Everybody thought I was gonna
from
be
when I
mean.
met them.
Nate thought I was gonna be mean.
Well, no, I didn't.
Yeah, you
No.
did. That's
Oh my life, darling. Maybe a little bit. No, I'm joking. No, I didn't. I didn't know what to expect. I think we all had probably a bit of thing in our head that we thought.
I think so. I think when you haven't met the person
You're not
for
me.
real,
You're wonderful, my darling. I love
tend
you.
to be way more intimidating than you think they are. But when you meet people in person, they're just people, no matter what. Like, we're Power Rangers, but we're people. We're children. Okay?
To jump back to your question before about you know, sort of the relationship on and off screen of us, we do become friends in the film, and we almost shot pretty much chronologically. So the arc of our friendship off screen was almost happening on screen per day, right? So it's almost like it doesn't become an acting thing when you're so close.
Ourselves.
Well, it doesn't. It becomes a real thing. Just like the sets are so real, and it's scary how.
Real. It was.
Well,
You know
what Becky was saying about us two, well, in the movie, our characters as the two, you know, as Trini and Kimberly, they're not quite sure how to take each other
No.
at first, and I think that's a really fun thing to play. I think our relationship, I really enjoy seeing that progression,
Yeah.
and then it's like a little love
Come
story.
together, yeah.
We had like an impromptu table read that led to a lot of fun. You know, the first night we were there, it was like we all got at my house.
Just
you know.
us. It
Yeah,
was just like
us.
in the schedule.
And that one night, it was like a duration of like 5 hours. We laughed, cried, got angry. You know, all of this, not at each other, but it was like we all shared these, you know, different life experiences and also bonding together over the script. And it was like, these are some of the, you know, best friends that I'm gonna have for the rest of my life, right?
5 people who come from every corner of the planet to one place who'd never met in one night, becoming great friends. It's like, that doesn't happen.
Perfect story.
Yeah.
I keep doing this because we get to see it all next March, and sadly that's all the time that we've got. But before I ask you guys to go, you guys are close, it shows. Would you please just like strike a pose together for everyone? Just
Only Dean should do it.
Wait, are we talking like A-bar pose?
You guys
or-
are.
What about a Vogue pose? Can I do a Vogue pose? Or
this is his director pose.
Oh.
It's good, right? It's
We
good,
need
right?
Alpha 5.
I'm putting you on the spot, guys. I know. But I know everybody's so psyched to see the movie, and they're so psyched to just strike it.
We got all the microphones.
I gotta
Go,
sign
go,
pants.
Power
do we
Rangers.
have to hold
It's time.
Can this be my weapon?
I know.
Might sound like boring in every shot. Straight up.
This will be my golf.
This guy.
Go, go, Power Rangers. Yeah! Amazing. We have to say goodbye to them, but we are going to watch that trailer one more time.
Oh, yeah.